Once upon a time, there lived on the island of Langkawi a small family of rich Muslim immigrants, and they had the most beautiful daughter by the name of Mahsuri. She was delicate as a flower, with golden peach skin, which glowed transparent under the morning sun, pearl-like shiny teeth, long lustrous hair with frangipani fragrance, and walked smilingly demure to anyone who crossed her path. Her father sought the alliance of a weaving merchant for her. The wedding was celebrated in pomp amidst guests who came from all over the archipelago to wish the couple a happy married life. The feast that the parents of Mahsuri hosted were the talk of the town for months to come. The best cooks were called to make the most delectable dishes. Exotic flowers and fruits graced the venue with abundance. Mahsuri was sent with a good dowry to her in-laws. But there was one thorn in the whole perfect picture of happiness. The groom's mother was a very envious woman. She despised Mahsuri for her utmost beauty, which had floored her son. Everyone was charmed by the new bride's soft-speaking, elegant manners and kind heart. Mahsuri was humble and a devoted wife. Her husband, being a merchant, needed to travel soon after the wedding, leaving the new bride along with his parents. Things went all right for the first few days. Then the mother-in-law started throwing her daggers of jealousy on Mahsuri. Pretending her nasi lemak or her rendang were not adequately seasoned or cooked, she nagged the young woman and started hurtling her with all her venom. Mahsuri, not expecting such a turn of face from her mother-in-law, spent her days crying when she wasn't slaving over some chores. There was no way she could contact her husband and had to wait for his return, hoping the days good enough for sailing and that he would make his appearance at the door. But alas, the days got longer. The abuses got more hurtful. By now, Mahsuri took refuge in her prayers as a devout Muslim woman and kept her silence with hope for betterment in her heart. She was not allowed outside the house and talking to anyone. The neighbors saw the injustice, but no one could say anything. I don't know why we have given in to the offer of marriage to you best. Cursed be that mother who gave birth to such a wretched creature as you. I can't believe you can't even fry these ikans properly. Now I do have to eat only cucumbers or peanuts, would spit the evil mother-in-law whenever she could. I'm sorry, mother. I will redo the ikan rapidly. Mahsuri tried her best, her beauty always glowing no matter what misery her wicked mother-in-law gave her. One fine day, her husband came back. He came searching for his wife and told her how much he missed her. The mother, although receiving enough faith, grace and gifts, wasn't happy at all. In fact, her jealousy came to boiling point when she saw Mahsuri dressed up to welcome her husband for lunch. She wore the gold jewelry her father gifted her, the silk scarf with sequins which sparkled at each ray of light it caught. She adorned her almond eyes with kohl, and her pink lips were tainted red with areca she munched. During lunch, her husband complimented on her cooking. Feeling satiated and retired to the open veranda to have some fruits. It was then that the mother chose to make her deadly move. So, my son, did your business go well?
Yes, Mother. All went exceptionally well, and I won't need to go for another 6 months or so.
Hearing this, the mother-in-law started to fume. She had to act quickly, otherwise she will have to put up with seeing these two lovebirds for another 6 months around her. She probably would explode out of envy by then. My son, I have to tell you something very delicate, but need to be said as it is grave. The son, with all emergency, turned to his wicked mother and asked,
"What's the matter, mother? What's happened? You have me all worried now. Just tell me."
"I wished I was not alive to face such a dishonor from your wife. She has not been faithful to you. She has a strange behavior when her brother visited her during your absence. They would close the door to the bedroom and stay in for hours, while I would be waiting for a glass of water or food. She paid no heed to anything. They would cackle and laugh, but one day I had enough of it, and I went to knock at the door. Nobody came to open, so I pushed it. And what I saw on the bed is too ugly for me to put in words, my son." Upon hearing this, and having no doubt upon his mother's words, the husband of Mahsuri flew in rage towards his wife. He broke into a torrent of words accusing her of incest with her own brother. Mahsuri tried giving light upon truth, but her husband wouldn't hear any of it. She fainted when she heard that he would divorce her. The mother-in-law suggested she was to be judged by the chief and the villagers. Adultery in Islam was punishable, but incest was more sinful than it. Everybody was shocked to hear such dishonorable deed, so-called committed by Mahsuri. But most people were not ready to believe the accusations. However, the sin was too grave to bury it quietly. Mahsuri was thus sentenced to death. On the day of the execution, still claiming her innocence, Mahsuri did not stop praying. Her evil mother-in-law asked she be killed by the sacred dagger belonging to Mahsuri's father. The crooked woman was jubilating. She was finally getting rid of the only woman who rivaled her in beauty and affection to her son. When the dagger hit Mahsuri fatally, blood spurted out, but instead of being red, it was white. Everyone was shocked. Some started shouting that Mahsuri had always been innocent and that this was the proof. The accusations thrown at her were sheer slander. At the moment of the final hour of her death, Mahsuri vowed that Langkawi will never be peaceful for 7 generations. The curse of killing an innocent bore hard on the people of Langkawi. The Siams invaded the country, destroyed and looted everything. Her husband was drowned when his boat was caught in a storm across Kalimantan. His mother broke into a pestilent skin disease which robbed her of her beauty, and she died poor and lonely, living in a shack. For many years, people lived in poverty, lacked food, agriculture did not fare well, and it did not rain enough. Finally, after a lot of prayers held for forgiveness by the locals, the country got lifted from the curse. All came back to normal, and people were prosperous again. It is said that since then, the mother-in-laws in Langkawi don't say much when they have a new daughter-in-law. Everyone tried to live peacefully.